Okay, this next part is honestly the most important part of what I'm going to show you. And I'm afraid it's all going to come in at once, and I was hoping we could make it come in one line at a time. But what I've done is basically something that I wanted to know myself, and now honestly preparing for this talk, I learned more about what's going on with this than I hope I can explain it to where you guys will understand it as well. But we had, from 2 years ago when we did all the bulls in our sale, we had 6 of those bulls that we used in our program last year, and we now have calves on the ground, okay? So what I've done is the 6 bulls will be listed across the top. So the bull ID number Z22, that's actually a bull that Howard Crittenden bought from us. He's a wonder son. Z67 is a Kennedy son out of a ribeye daughter. Z109 is a Logic out of a Progress daughter. Z123 is another Logic. Z149 is a Progress grandson. And 20Z is a bull that we bought, okay? And what I've done here, this is the traditional EPD for all of these bulls when they were first registered. So I got the calves registered at 4 months of age, and this is what their birth weight EPD was. And then about Christmas time, right before, it was actually after Denver Stock Show, we stand in the hair on all of these bulls, and we got the first round of genomic EPDs. And these bulls moved their birth weight, and you can see what happened. This bull went from a 1.9 to a 0.6. This bull didn't move much. This bull went down. This bull didn't move a lot. This bull went down. And this bull, my record system, we can't go back and get EPDs on bulls that we didn't raise, so my computer system wasn't able to do that. Okay, then our sale was on a Friday, and on a Monday, the American Hereford Association announced a recalibration of the genomic EPDs. So 2 days after our sale, this bull went down again to a minus 1.2. This bull went up to a 2.1, and you can see how these bulls all moved, okay? That recalibration is basically, when they started this program, they wanted a minimum of 2,000 bulls with accuracies of 50% or higher tested, okay? So they could test those bulls to see if the genomics matched what actually the bull sired, okay? In this second run of genomic EPDs, they actually added more than 2,000 head. So they upped that number of bulls, and therefore they got it more accurate. Okay, then this spring, this is the actual progeny ratio of the calves out of these different bulls. And keep in mind, 100 is average. So this bull ratioed 92%. So in other words, he's 8% below average. And there was about 20 some calves in each one of these sire groups. I think the Zeppelin bull, we only had half a dozen out of him. And there was basically 6 to 22 calves out of each one of these bulls. Okay, then last week, 2 weeks ago, the American Hereford Association came out with the new run of the EPDs. This would be not just the genomic EPDs, but they actually incorporated all of the birth weights and all of the information that we sent in. So now this bull's birth weight went down to a minus 3.4. This bull went up to a 3.4. And what I want to show you is the difference between those two bulls' calves was 8%. average here, and so there was 15% difference between these two bulls' calves' birth weights. And you can see the difference that was represented here. And in the next slide, I'll show you, we put it into bars to show you the trend. And what I want you to see, and we'll use this bull here as an example, his birth weight changed when he got the first genomic EPD. The trend was going down. The actual progeny was below average, and then his EPD went on down. So the genomic EPDs were moving him down, okay? All right, so this is a bar graph to visually show you what these calves did, or what these bulls' progeny did. So this Z22, he was going down with the genomic EPDs, so they were sort of trending him that way. The progeny proved it, and then his birth, and that's exactly what we needed to do. I think that I know that the people that work on these genomic EPDs, they temper the movement just a little bit. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys probably listen to the U.S. crop reports when the government sends out, they may want to move the corn yield 10 bushel, but they don't want to shock the market, so they move it halfway. At least that's what some people think. But anyway, they temper the movement a bit. And that's what these genomic EPDs, they started trending those bulls the correct way. And this to me is really exciting because it actually proves that we really have something here. Okay, so then what the next thing we did to show you was we had 120 heifers that we don't do the genomic EPDs. Down home it costs us $85 a test. So I didn't want to spend $120 to $85 on all 120 heifers. And then we did do all of the 98 bulls. Okay, keep in mind when I show you these next traits, these heifers, their sires were genomically enhanced. Most of their grandsires on the cow side were genomically enhanced. So we've really built a lot of accuracy into their pedigree without really spending the money on the heifers, okay? Okay, what we did here, and I have to give my son all the credit on this graph because he came home from college and helped figure all this out, because what I was going to show you wasn't going to look very good. But what we did here was we took all of these heifers with the non-DNA data and we put them for yearling weight. This is for yearling weight with the poorest yearling weight heifer EPD here, and we sent them with the best yearling weight EPD heifer this direction. And what I was wanting to find was, did the EPDs work? Did they really show us what we were wanting to do? So this is the actual slope line of those same heifers ranked the same way, and this is what their actual yearling weight was. And I don't know anything about statistics, but we did. If this slope is parallel to this slope, then we did what we needed to do. The EPDs actually predicted accurately over that group of heifers the correct way that they were going to be ranked. Okay, this is the bulls. These bulls had the yearling weight genomic EPDs, and the slope is very, very similar. Now keep in mind, that's not real sharp of a slope, but the goal of our program at home is to sell 100 bulls that are all the same, okay? So I would be sad if I was selling these bulls and we had a large variability in our yearling weight EPD on our bulls, because then our customers wouldn't be able to get as good a product. So this slope isn't a lot, but it's basically the way it works. And then this is the yearling weight EPD. And the next slide I'll show you is what we did with IMF. We did the same thing. This is the heifers with no genomic EPDs. This is the poorest IMF heifer to the best. This is the ultrasound measurement with the slope, and you can see how parallel they are. This is the same thing with the bulls, and actually, in fact, these bulls, the slope on this doesn't fit, in my opinion, quite as well as it does here with their EPDs. And I can't really explain that, but I think the thing to take home out of this is the EPDs did their job. The EPDs, we've always been told, over 100 head. If you have the two groups of cows, you breed two different bulls over 100 head, this bull's yearling weights are going to be better than this bull's yearling weights, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, so why use them? I use them to provide our customers with a better selection tool. I feel it gives our cattle more accuracy, and we can also make more rapid improvement. And I think maybe in the future, the best thing that these things are going to be used for is the lowly heritable traits.